So it's really, really important to be releasing our emotions and not suppressing them. This is going to help you feel much calmer in your body, more in control, more resilient. It's going to give you the inner peace when we're just shoving them under the rug. It's not really effective. They're staying there, right? Energy, emotion is energy in motion. It's stored there. It creates dis-ease. So therefore, we want to be releasing this emotion. When it's stored up, that's when we start hitting lower frequency things like grief, anger, shame, those sort of things, guilt, and then we start, those emotions are going to have us reacting to how we are feeling. So as we can release those and we can become calmer in ourselves, we can then show up very, very differently, and we will think and feel very, very differently as well. So this is a practice that I have done for the last 3 years. It all started when I was studying the book Letting Go by Dr. David Hawkins, and I would literally lay down and get out of my head into my body and feel the emotions. Now, what happened for me was I started to release emotions through what I call body popping. It was quite intense to start off with. I was hitting myself in the head with no control. I was like, my body was jolting everywhere. I had a lot of trauma in my hip and my lower back, and I'd been suffering for so many years. A disclaimer first, right? This is just from personal experience. I'm not saying that we can heal our bodies from it, but it definitely helped. And like I say, it was very, very intense. My mum used to say, because I lived with her at the time, that it sounded like I had somebody in the room with me, because I would be rocking a lot. It was very, very intense, and it still happens now, but it's much, much less intense. And I've now developed a process so that I do it every single day to release any emotion. I can also release emotion for other people. I can tap into other people's energies and I can release for them, and they feel it. So I've just thought I'd talk you through the process. I've done a demonstration so you can see what I mean by body popping, but also you can see the process that I do. I figure out where the emotion is, and then I forgive myself for it, and then I give it permission to release. It does feel amazing. I wasn't feeling too much before doing this video, but there was a few things that were stuck there. So so I've used it to demonstrate anyway. So have a watch, and hopefully it will help you. So I quite often do this laying down, but I wanted to demonstrate this to you by sitting up. Either way, it's still effective. So firstly, I take a few deep breaths just to settle into my body. I then take my attention to my body and identify where I can feel discomfort. So on this occasion, it's in my throat and in my solar plexus. At this point, I acknowledge that that's where I am feeling it. So now I know where the discomfort is. This is where I then focus on one area at a time. And I go onto my phone and I find the frequency music relevant to that area. So with the throat, I will then find throat chakra frequency music. I then put my headphones in so that I can now listen to that frequency music. I then get back to working on releasing it. And what I do is I actually focus my eyes down onto the area where I am feeling the emotion. I then sit with it for a while and listen to my intuition on why it feels uncomfortable there. So in this situation, it's due to feeling misunderstood and not being able to speak my truth. And this is the point in which I am now forgiving myself. So I'm sorry, please forgive me, thank you, I love you, for the reason why I feel misunderstood, and giving myself permission to release that emotion. And I'm focusing solely on my throat and the sensation, the emotion, what you feel is you feel the energy like shifting and changing within that area of the body. And I sit with it until it's been released. As you will see, my body does that by what I call body popping. On this particular occasion, I did feel like I was being strangled by my hoodie, so as you can see, I did have to adjust it. After a couple of minutes, as you can see, my body starts to release the emotion by what I call body popping. This happened 4 or 5 times for the throat chakra before I felt that it had cleared. These movements of my head, they're involuntary, so I have no control over them whatsoever, but they feel amazing. Previously, my body has done much bigger movements, but however, they are nowhere near as intense as they used to be. And then once done, I changed my music to solar plexus frequency music and started the whole process. Again, this time placing my hand on my solar plexus. As you will see here, I have settled back a little bit, and the body pops are more, not just my head, but more of my whole body. As I said, these can be more intense or less intense, depending on how much emotion I have to clear. On this occasion, I'm demonstrating it. I wasn't that, didn't have that much emotion to clear, but as you can see, it's still pretty intense with the way in which it clears. And then once done, I just give a quick thanks and a few deep breaths, and then I get on with my day feeling much more grounded and in control.